I've done so many videos about the Netherlands that they should just give me a Dutch passport at this point. If you're addicted to playing Tall 2, then you're in the perfect spot. In today's Victoria Free video, we're going to focus on playing Tall, establishing a global colonial empire, and reaching 500 million GDP as a capitalist utopia by using a total game changer, companies and prestige goods. Stick around and see the rise of the Dutch Empire. Before we dive into the video, I've got to tell you about the game changer for your online experience, Surfshark, the sponsor of today's video. If you're tired of feeling like the internet is working against you, Surfshark is the tool that you need. Think of it as a secret weapon that helps you stay secure and unlock the full potential of the web. So what exactly does a VPN do? It encrypts your data and changes your virtual location. With Surfshark, you can stay private, secure, and access the internet with zero restrictions. First of all, let's talk security. Hackers are constantly lurking, especially when you're online in a public space, whether that's at a hotel or an airport. Surfshark shields your data by encrypting it, so your passwords, credit cards, and private information stay yours and only yours. Ever notice how flights, hotels, or even subscription services change the prices based on where you're browsing from? With Surfshark, you can connect to servers worldwide and compare the prices like a pro. What might cost $300 from your location could be $200 somewhere else, and now you can choose the cheaper option. And the cherry on top, Surfshark lets you protect unlimited devices with just one account. Whether it's your phone, laptop, or even your gaming console, everything gets covered, no limits, no extra costs. Here's another awesome product, Surfshark Search. This lets you browse the web ad-free without leaving a digital footprint. No trackers, no targeted ads, just clean private browsing. If you're ready to unlock the internet's full potential, go to surfshark.com/GolemVPN or use code GolemVPN at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't wait, secure your internet now. And here we are as the Netherlands. Now, if you have seen my Belgium video, then you know that we managed to annex all of the Netherlands in just 4 years. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case the other way around, because once our truce expires with Belgium in 3 years, they get guaranteed by multiple great powers. That's why it's a difficult nation to invade, but later on we will still get all of their land, don't worry. We need their resources because they have a ton of mines, when we, on the other hand, we only have a measly couple of logging camps and coal mines, and that's pretty much it. What we have going on for us though as the Netherlands is super high literacy. We're the 7th in the world when it comes to that. We have a very nice law system from the get-go, and we have a bunch of institutions which we can start upgrading. Now, what I like to do with the government, first of all, is reform it, go for the rural folk option, and this will open up new laws for us. We can try and switch our trade policy to protectionism first. Let's go to our budget. We will be setting very high taxation. We will be removing this consumption tax on luxury clothes, setting government wages to the minimum and military wages to the maximum as well. Now, we can also get a few decrees in our states, which are going to be road maintenance decrees and promote social mobility ones. It's really up to you if you want to get all free road maintenance decrees. It's not very efficient, but you know, it just saves you some time if you want to just continue building and not worry about the states too much. Now, if we go into our building list, we can switch some production methods, not all of them. For example, logging camps. Sawmills would be awesome, but we don't have any tools right now, and this consumes more tools. So this is going to be our priority, but first we need to build some tooling workshops. Now we're going to switch government administrations to secular administration. We're going to do the same with universities so that we employ less clergymen and use less paper, and we can put subsidies on trade centers. Right, regarding the buildings, so if we check our market, guys, we can see that we have a big shortage of wood. As I mentioned, we don't have any tools, and for a while we will be using wooden buildings for our construction sectors, so we need to build up some tooling workshops first of all. I'm gonna go with a couple of construction sectors. We're gonna get a few tooling workshops, get a few logging camps, and then later on we can continue building tools and even more logging camps. So let's go for our research. We have everything on tier 1 fully completed, which is a pretty good start. I like to open up with pharmaceuticals, which is gonna give us access to health insurance laws. Then let's go for dialectics so we can have more max education, and we can just finish everything here on the right side of the society tab. Now let's go to diplomacy. We're going to set some rivals, pretty much all the South American countries. We're gonna go for Denmark, Germanic countries as well, and then we can use this influence to start improving relations with all the great powers. And because we still have very high influence, we will have infamy decay bonus. which is going to be pretty important. As we invade nations, we will generate infamy. Speaking of invading, let's prepare our army. We're going to upgrade all of our units. We're going to enable extra supplies for more offense. Now, we start with this 71-year-old general. There's a good chance that he's just going to die during a battle, so I will immediately get a replacement for him. We can go with Frederick over here, and let's make him a level 2 even. Apart from that, we're also going to max out on the conscripts. Without any decrease, we can get 7 of them, which is going to be enough for the start. Alright, we can now go ahead and declare some interests. I like to go for most of Africa because we're gonna be establishing a ton of colonies here, which we're going to start doing a little bit later because these colonies will cost us 100,000 each, as we will build them level 1 ports in immediately, which is an addition in 1.9 patch. Now for the remaining interests, we can go for Brazil and South China. One thing to not forget is to go to our state actions and incorporate 2 states that are not yet incorporated, which is Ghana and Guyana, our colonies in South America and Africa. And guys, it's the next month. We can start our first Diplo play. We're looking at Great Qing right now because this is a super easy country to invade. They barely have any ships. Their army is paper thin. And it kind of makes sense for us to invade them because we have a lot of Indonesian land here, and they also own Lanfang, which we can snipe from them. Actually, this kind of reminded me that we can go to our subject window and we can reduce the autonomy of Dutch East Indies, which is going to give us even more money. And just to manage their liberty desire, we're going to exempt them from service. We don't need them right now. Alright, so for our Diplo play, take Treaty Port in Formosa. Let's mobilize our units, raise the conscripts, and this is going to be the most important step, guys. Pay close attention because this is going to let you skyrocket your economy early on. We need to sway in Great Britain into this war. We can do this with a war goal, open market. Now this is not because we needed Great Britain's support in that war, but because of a different situation, which I'm going to explain shortly. First of all, let's go with our military and position our guys here in Cape Colony. And then let's go ahead and add some additional war goals. So obviously we're yoinking Lanfang, and we're gonna go with a nice little money transfer. We can take up to 67,000, which is just bonkers, but it will also give you a very high infamy, and it's not something that we need right now. So we're gonna go with a modest amount, something around 25,000. Yeah, that's gonna do. And we're going to make both of these additional goals primary ones because there is a chance that Great Qing is going to back out from this war, and this would still seed us the primary goals. With that done, guys, we can just forget this war. Great Britain is gonna take care of all of that. We are switching our focus to South Africa. If you have been paying attention to the latest updates, then you know that these countries had some changes. Gaza specifically now has a ton of battalions, which is not a problem for us because we also have a nice army, we have a lot of ships. But on the other hand, Transvaal and Orange, these countries are guaranteed for 25 years by Great Britain, and there's only a few ways on how you can avoid this guarantee if you want to take these lands early, which we do because they have just a crazy amount of resources. Only Transvaal over here has 60 iron mines. So basically, if we had an alliance with Great Britain, we could just freely take all of this. Or, you know, we can just drag them into some kind of a war. They will be fighting on our side, and they will not be able to join on the defensive side for Transvaal and Orange, which is exactly what we're doing now. So we can just eat all of this up. So there we go, guys. As soon as this war starts with Qing, we can go ahead and begin our Diplo play against Gaza. Now, unfortunately, we will also have a coup over here, and this is because we have negative approval for some of our factions that are influential. However, if we get an event that is going to reduce the progress to below 0%, we are actually going to get a nice reward for this as well. There we go, guys. We can launch our first naval invasion. Let's crush these guys. Yeah, this is what we need. The coup is going to retreat by 15%. However, we're going to need more of these events because we're still getting a lot of progress. So, you know, in order, if you want to just avoid the coup whatsoever, you just go for a different law. We went with a little bit of a risky start with protectionism here. You can definitely get something like racial segregation, which is going to be easier to switch from national supremacy. All right, I'm not even going to wait for anything. I'm going to go for a play against Transvaal immediately. Boom, there we go. We have Lorenzo Marquez, so we can incorporate this new state. And this is going to lower our bureaucracy. And as we continue to conquer and incorporate more lands, we're going to need more of it. So we're going to just immediately build some government administration buildings to help us with that. We're going to get a couple in each of our main states. Easy as that, boys. We can go after Zulu now, annex country. And it seems like Portugal is likely to join it. Go after me, bro. Come at me. I actually want this to happen. Portugal sides with Zulu. They made a big mistake by joining this war. We're going to take all of their South African stuff here. Okay guys, this is going to be a very important event for us, the Belgian question. We will call a conference, and if we check our journal, we have the London conference here available. This was changed in 1.9. Now the outcome of this event depends on the prestige of the backing countries. What we need to happen is for the Dutch claims to be favored or 24 points to be favored, and this would give us a good outcome. Alright, looks like we're not getting protectionism, so that's a bit unfortunate. Let's try and go for racial segregation now. The Qing War is also over, guys, so now we're getting a massive money transfer for 5 years. This is going to skyrocket our economy. So once we got rid of our credit, we're going to start colonizing. And there we go, we handled Zulu. Now we're just going to occupy some lands owned by Portugal. We will finish this war quickly. The London conference is also coming to an end. We're going to ratify the treaty because we have the 24 points outcome, which is not the optimal one. It would be better to get Dutch claims, but it's still good. There we go, for peace in our time, hurrah. Now what we get is a bigger portion of Wallonia ceded to Luxembourg, so they actually have some mines now. And we have a new subject of Limburg in the Belgian Gelre, so we can begin improving relations with them. This is a new personal union. Let's go for a nice little naval invasion to finish this war a bit quicker. There we go, we actually got rid of the coup now, so we get a nice reward giving us +2 inches group approval for all factions. That's going to help us. Atmospheric engine has been unlocked. Not that useful currently because we just don't have the mines. So what can we realistically switch? I guess we do have some tools right now, so we can switch to lathes for furnitures. And let's do the logging camp switch as well. We can also switch our ports to cargo ports because we're having an issue with convoys. Alright, there we go. As we're occupying the Portuguese lands, this war is about to be finished, guys. So after this one, we're definitely going to chill for a bit because our infamy is pretty crazy right now. And that's it. We have a bunch of new states. Doesn't this look just beautiful? Let's go, boys. Do we even need to incorporate anything here? No, we don't. There's only Zulu that we have not yet started to incorporate. Let's actually get rid of our conscripts now, we won't need them. And guys, we can return to medium taxation. We don't need to hurt our people too much. We already have a ton of radicals. Now this is something that I like to see. +20% enactment success chance. We are getting this law for sure. Okay guys, we're starting to get some nice gold reserves. So I'm gonna begin colonizing. We're going to establish all the possible colonies. And we're going to build all of the ports necessary. We won't need ports in all of the colonies. So that is why we're not going to lose too much money here. Boom, there we go. And we have more max education investment now, so we can upgrade our education to level 3. We just need a little bit more bureaucracy, so once again, I'm just going to get some government administration buildings. We just want to make sure to not build in states which are not yet incorporated, which gives them a massive construction efficiency debuff, so we're just going to continue building in Holland for now. Nice, we also get a university in Gelre. Let's go. There we go. Let's get this to level 3, and I will also start upgrading law enforcement, as it would be awesome to get less radicals from political movements. Now we can really start bumping up our economy. So I'm gonna get a couple more construction sectors, and even though we don't have iron yet, we're still going to switch to iron frame buildings. And what we're gonna do is go to our market. We're going to get some subventions established just for a while. We need to pay attention to this. If we're gonna begin paying too much money, then we will just lower the subventions. So what's the situation over here with Transvaal? It's only 13 months left for this to be integrated, but we will also still have some turmoil, which also reduces the state construction efficiency. So it's not going to be still a great state for us to build. We need to wait more. Until then, we can get some iron mines in Dutch East Indies. So let's put some to the front of the queue in Sunda Islands. So we're going to queue up a couple of more construction sectors in Holland because we're still making a bank. Hey, we have a new king, Willem van Oranje. He's in the intelligentsia interest group and he's a reformer, which means he endorses cultural exclusion. So it's going to be much easier for us to switch to this law. And we do want to get the liberals in our government. Now, if we have only them, it's 39. I guess it's not too bad, but let's wait at least until we finish this current law. Hey, we have a gold rush in Dutch Guyana, so we are getting increased gold fields building throughput. More money, always welcome. We have 3 gold fields here in Guyana right now, although it's still going to take a very long time for us to incorporate this colony. Speaking of incorporation, Senegal, we can begin incorporating this. Alright guys, good stuff. We have a health system established. I would really like to have some good agitators. Currently we have a royalist, we have a couple of these Democrats which don't really help us out. Not a great situation. But hey, this is actually not too bad. 17% to try and pass cultural exclusion. Let's try this. We have central archives unlocked, so we can switch our production methods real quick for government administration. And this is going to give us a ton of bureaucracy, which we will immediately use for the institutions. Max out on the health system for standard of living. And I do want to become a great power now because we're soon going to have some loans. So let's see if we can manipulate this. Okay, we're up to a great power status immediately. And hey, we still have good influence. We have a secessionist movement, which I guess is not the worst thing. If we want to, we can actually cancel some of our decrees and start suppressing all of these movements, but it's gonna take a lot of authority for that, so I would just actually let them fire rather. I guess we can cancel some decrees on Friesland, for example, and get rid of one of these movements. Let's do the supremacist movement right now. And guys, we're definitely going to need paper now as we're using the advanced production methods for government administration. So I'm gonna start building some paper mills. Look at that, super productive. Let's get 5 of these. And we do want to have 5 tooling workshops by the time that we get our first company. I'm actually gonna go ahead and queue up corporate charters, which is gonna give us this company. And let's make sure that we have both of these tooling workshops built. Very good, managed to pass another law. How about we briefly increase our legitimacy a little bit, guys? We're going to lower our taxation, which is going to get rid of the enactment time debuff. So we have 26% success chance for laissez-faire. This would be just insanely massive for us right now. Even though this is going to upset the rural folk, let's try and get this because they have super low political strength right now. If this drops below 5%, they're actually just going to be marginalized. So they're not even going to matter anymore. Maybe, guys, in your runs, it's going to be easier if you get like a market liberal or just someone that would endorse a law like laissez-faire. You just need to keep an eye on this and invite this guy and just give him leadership for the interest group, which you can basically switch out your previous guy, which is, for example, like in our case right now, a positivist, and he doesn't help us get laissez-faire whatsoever because he endorses different types of laws. Although we do have a market liberal for intelligentsia, I guess this is why that's such a high percentage for us to pass it. Alright, so our building queue is about to be finished. Let's check out our market and see what kind of priorities we need. We still need a lot of wood, we still need a lot of iron, and a lot more paper. So actually I'm gonna prioritize first of all getting a few more paper mills. Let's do another 5. 35% turmoil is left in Transvaal, which gives a little bit of a state construction efficiency reduction, but not too much. We can definitely start building some iron mines here. Let's get at least another 10. And once this starts, we're going to get the road maintenance decree up in there as well. We still can finish some logging camps as well. Limburg is in the Dutch market, so we can grab a couple of logging camps there too. Okay, Intelligentsia is petitioning government for free trade. Actually, yeah, we can try and get this. And France wants a treaty, they want investment rights, and they would only be giving us trade privileges. Serious, bro? How about we get an alliance? Nobody wants to ally us, not even a chance. That's very unfortunate. Alright boys, we have access to our first company now. So this is why we got 5 tooling workshops in one state, because we're gonna be establishing Holland Metal Works Company. And we can give some stuff to it. Okay, he's got -10 popularity. Apparently our executive is an alcoholic. It's not the best thing, but it's okay. It's not too bad. Now, let's give this investment rights, which is going to allow the company to construct regional HQs, which will contribute to our investment pool. Trade rights, so that it can build trade centers. And industry rights. We can go for iron mines industries. We're soon going to have a ton of iron mines in our country, so this is going to help with the throughput. And steel mills we can get from a different company later on. Now, let's see, guys. We're losing a lot of cash, maybe a little bit too much than we would like to lose. And this is mainly because of construction goods, spending a ton on iron. It's okay, we're gonna get a ton from Transvaal very shortly. Maybe until then we can manipulate our wages a little bit, maybe go back to normal taxation. We no longer need to suppress this movement, we're fine here. Actually, we can just switch and suppress a different movement. Next research, guys. Quinine is pretty damn important for us because it's going to allow us establishing colonies in states with severe malaria. This is going to open up a bunch of new colonies for us, especially in Australia. I like to get pretty early. It is taking us an insanely long time to get laissez-faire, but hopefully we will get it now, and we did. Alright, good stuff. Unfortunately, we're down to being a major power, but at least we have some loan interest rate reduction still. And we now have a bunch of new colonies available because we just unlocked Q9. We need to wait a little bit because we need to fix this credit that we currently have. We're gonna go with high taxation for a bit. Let's try and get free trade. Actually, guys, we might want to stay on at least medium taxation because we need to get free trade quickly. We only have 1 year and 7 months for the petition. Yeah, so water to boiler, we can finish this and we can go for railways next. The political movements are under control, which means we can establish some additional consumption taxes. Let's go for services, which is going to give us a nice amount of money. And guys, some good news is that we have very low infamy now, so we can definitely expand our dominance. Maybe we can snatch Congo real quick. Okay, yeah, we're not going to be doing that. France, Spain, they want a piece of this apparently. Actually, France is very, very annoying right now because they're expected to join a lot of different wars. Though I wouldn't mind grabbing Argentina as a protectorate. Okay, boom, we have way less credit now, so actually we can go ahead and get some new colonies. That's gonna be a lot of new colonies, guys, and we're going to build ports in all of them as well. Very good stuff. Nobody joined this Argentina war, so it's gonna be easy peasy. Looks like we will actually fail the petition though. It's super unfortunate. We haven't been the luckiest with the loss in this campaign, that's for sure, guys. Look, we're so close, bro. In the voting stage, but I don't think we have enough time. We can try and do our best to squeeze this in. Like, if we cancel all of our decrees for a while, we will have a little bit more authority, and this way we get a 25% enactment time reduction. And we also get a 20% succession. Can we make it? The answer is it's super close, but we made it with 1 week left. We actually, this is blessed, bro. Let's go. All right, we can get it back, our stuff, what we had here. Petition successfully completed. Now we can get something else. All right, proportional taxation right now would not give us revenue yet. Maybe we don't need to rush that. We can try and get total separation. Yeah, don't really care about Pedro over here. He's an exile with a jingoist ideology, but I guess it's not the worst, and we will be getting plus 5% prestige. We really need more prestige right now. Okay, thank goodness, guys. We can actually get an alliance with Great Britain now. I want to do this for 25 years, and I'm thinking maybe let's not give them investment rights for such a long time, because this is going to really hurt us. They're gonna start using our buildings. How about we just go for a non-colonization agreement? We can do something like Senegal. Like, this is not the worst thing. We have a little piece of Senegal, but it's okay. We can give this up. This alliance is gonna be so good for us that I don't really care about losing a little colony in Africa. And just to make this work, we can give them like a little bit of tools. There we go, guys. There we go. We have an alliance with Great Britain. This is absolutely fantastic now. Actually, guys, now it's totally fine if we take over Congo. We can do annex country play. Spain could join. If they do, come at me, bro. You know, they have something that I kind of want. They have Philippines. Oh, we're actually not getting progress towards precision tools because we're not the top 3 producer. Spain does side with Congo. Okay, so we have 2 things to fix. First of all, we need more tools. Actually, we have nitroglycerin available, so we could switch that and get some explosive factories. I might do that too. But let's focus on this. Oh my god, they are so productive. 3,000 for a tooling workshop. That's insane. Okay, so we're gonna get another 8 here in Holland. Then let's take care of this war. So Spain joined. Well, we have an ally now, so we can call in Great Britain. In Spain, you did a very bad choice here because you're going to transfer Philippines over to me. Let's go for some of these expeditions as well, guys. We are now a great power. Let's keep it this way. With these expeditions, we can get a lot of prestige. So I'm gonna send an admiral over there. And actually, if we check our situations, we have insufficient construction. We need to get more construction sectors. I'm going to do that in Transvaal because in this state we are building a lot. So I'm gonna get another 6 construction sectors here. And actually, let's get a couple of gold mines. Okay, boom, the war has broken out, so we will be getting Philippines. First of all, let's take out Congo, shall we? I'm gonna do a nice little naval invasion. Alright, this is done. Now let's go for the Philippines. Proportional taxation right now would be pretty damn good, but we need to invent egalitarianism first. So we're gonna go for our technology and we're going to switch our focus a little bit. Let's get this first. We need it. After that, we can finish the railways, and I would like to advance to joint star companies. Okay, sweet. We managed to annex Congo, which means we have a new colony that we can establish. And actually, guys, since we now have an alliance with Great Britain, we don't really care about keeping up amazing relations with everybody. We can now form our own power block. This is why I was holding on to this, because I first wanted to get a good alliance established. If I have some experienced Netherlands players here in the comments, let me know what you would go for, because I'm gonna go for a trade league. Now, hear me out. Obviously, Sovereign Empire does sound pretty convincing because it would give us the ability to subjugate power block members, so we could get a ton of vassals going on. Just split up different nations, like for example even Brazil, from which we could release a ton of different subjects and we could just subjugate them all bit by bit. But I just want to go with trade league because this is going to give us a lot of trade bonuses, and it just sounds appealing to have like a massive global trade empire as the Netherlands. It just sounds right. So let's go for our first principle as external trade 1, which is going to give us trade capacity and trade advantage. Okay, so let's give this a nice statue as well. A running man does sound nice. Let's grab a torch in the left hand. We definitely not a Roman helmet. What the hell, bro? Let's have a top hat like the true capitalists that we are. You know what? I really like this. This seems pretty damn good. I'm gonna have fish on the sides of our emblem because we're gonna do some fishy business in this campaign, know what I'm saying? And let's go for a globe, and we can go for like colors that would represent the Dutch flag. There we go, something like this. This seems pretty cool. Right, let's go. Let's form our power block. This is obviously going to hurt our relations. Don't care. In our agreement, we actually had a power block embassy established, but it's no longer valid, so it was just removed. We can check our treaty actually with Great Britain, and you will see that it's simply no longer there. So it's actually a good way of getting additional acceptance to just get a power block embassy and only then establish your power block, and it's just gonna get removed. You keep the treaty, nobody cares. I gotta say it's quite fitting that it costs 420 influence for Great Britain to keep up the treaty with the Netherlands. Honestly, this entire treaty is just like a big meme because it also costs us 269. Right, guys, so the subventions currently are very, very expensive. 18,000 for iron, which kind of reminds me that it's probably a good moment so that we decrease this because we have a surplus of iron right now. So our balance is completely fixed. We can get even more construction sectors. I'm gonna do another 5 here in Transvaal. And this is it, guys. Our war with Spain is over, so they just transferred Philippines to us. There we go. It's now orange as it's supposed to be. I'm just gonna immediately exempt them from service, reduce their payments, improve relations. Alright, we have access to this new law that we wanted to have. Proportional taxation. Immediately 10,000 revenue. Sounds just amazing. Oh my god, I'm having so much trouble with this expedition. Like, we have been getting some very bad events. At least we can still keep this alive by just losing a little bit of progress. We might not be able to complete it. But hey, on the other side, we have some good news, which is us still getting progress towards getting prestige tools. So that's going to be very good. And we now have unlocked railways. So I'm going to begin building some domestically. First of all, we do want to target the states where we have low infrastructure. In Transvaal, we already have some issues. So I'm going to put a couple of these to the front of the queue. And for now, we're just going to get elsewhere at least one railway in the states where we don't have construction efficiency issues. Of course, we failed the expedition. Screw you, game. Alright, Paraguayski, you want to become a protectorate? You do? Alright, sounds good to me. We're just gonna continue bullying small countries as we have low infamy. And we're gonna need mill access through Argentina to actually reach them. Hey, there we go. I was waiting for this moment. We finally have joint stock companies, so we can go for our second company. We already have a good situation here with Holland Metalworks Company. We're making some good profit. Let's see what we can get established next. Actually, a paper company right now sounds super good because this is probably my favorite prestige good. It affects buildings such as universities, government administration buildings, and the 10% bureaucracy is quite a nice bonus considering that we have so many institutions running. So yeah, let's establish Dutch paper. Let's give this an additional industry for the logging camps, and we have one more charter remaining, so I'm gonna give this investment rights. We're gonna focus a little bit more on production right now. I'm gonna finish everything here on the tier 2 side, and then we can go for dynamite, steam donkey. We should start doing a little cleanup here in Indonesia. Does anybody want a piece of that? Actually, it doesn't like anybody does, so let's take out some of these countries. If they're like a one state country, then I'm just going to conquer that directly. Not even gonna bother to make them a protectorate. There is a chance actually that Qing would join some of these plays, like for example if we did it against Kutay. And actually, if we get Great Britain in, do we go for round 2? Maybe this time we should take like a state or two from them because we could get a little bit of a population boost. Like, it's actually hilarious. If we took one state from Qing, we would have double population. It's just insane how many pubs they have. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna be doing if they join. And hey, we have proportional taxation now. All right, let's reform the government. Let's see what we got here. Universal suffrage. We could try and go for this, but the stall chance is still super high. We could also start focusing a little bit on our human rights side of things. We could go for poor laws. I think I'm gonna open up with this one. Well, looks like Qing doesn't really want a piece of this just yet. They're very chill right now. If you want me to have all of Indonesia, I don't mind that. Hey, there we go, boys. We have precision tools established now. So we got our first prestige good. It's not gonna take too much longer for us to get craft paper because at least this guy has decent popularity, so he doesn't reduce our progress towards prosperity. I still hope that they will change somehow the executives whole thing so that you can have like an influence yourself on their popularity, maybe like add some kind of events that you can increase their popularity with, or if there are events and I just haven't noticed, maybe make them a little bit more frequent. We need more rivals, boys. If we're improving relations with multiple countries, we don't have enough influence. So Ottoman Empire, Bolivia, Spain, we hate y'all now. And I'm not just going to improve relations carelessly like that with everybody. We really do care about keeping as high infamy decay as possible. There's a bunch of colonies now that we can integrate, so let's begin incorporating Mauritania, Ivory Coast, Windward Coast, Guinea. Ooh, very good. Easy protectorate. Oman, y'all gonna join our empire, you want it or not. We have a border with them, so we can send our units over there. They just back down. Thanks. I'll take that. I love how, as the Netherlands, it just takes like a few years for us to get established, you know, fix up our economic situation, have access to some mines, and we can basically become like Great Britain. We can just bully everybody, no matter where they're located in the world. Just a global empire. Looks like they don't really want even to have this defensive pact anymore, considering that something's going on with this war. So maybe they will get another country soon, and we will be ready for that. Yeah, so guys, direct conflict still not a good idea, because they would have Russia, Prussia, and maybe even a bunch of some minor countries. They no longer have the defensive pact, so let's just see what happens. I actually really want to speed up our construction, because I want to finish this queue, build up a few more railways, switch everything to railway production methods, and then I want to build a crap ton of universities, because our literacy is rising very slowly and we're actually falling behind. We were the 7th nation at the beginning. Even though our literacy has increased, it's increasing very slow, so a lot of countries have surpassed us now. So I'm just gonna get a ton of more construction sectors. Hey boys, there we go, finally we have our second mandate. Speaking of construction, this is going to help us massively. Plus 10% state construction efficiency, definitely one of my favorites to get. Okay, we have a bunch of Democrats available, so I'm actually gonna grant leadership to this one to rural folk, and this should give us a nice chance to get universal suffrage. There we go. The only factions that are not supporting this still have very high loyalty, so we are looking pretty decent here. Once we get universal suffrage, it's gonna be much easier for us to get the trade unions into the government, so we can start passing more human rights laws, and this way eventually we will just upgrade our standard of living by a lot. Alright, we have North German Federation established now, so they won the war. Wake up, Belgium, you know you want to get an alliance. Maybe you should get one with like Denmark or somebody here. Hey, we have craft paper, so we now have 2 prestige goods. 57,000 profit from our paper company, and we're getting 90,000 from our metal works already. Let's see, after Dynamite and Steam Donkey, maybe we can continue moving so that we can get another company later on with investment banks. So I'm just going to try and finish everything here. I swear to God, just my luck is the worst ever when it comes to these stupid expeditions. This is the second one that I've already failed. Oh man. Okay, anyways guys, we have a ton of bureaucracy, so we can use the decision land reclamation. We can get a lot of arable land through this one, and we need to get another admiral if we want to have another expedition, so I'm just going to hire any of these guys. We're also continuing to conquer Indonesia. We have a good portion of it already, and there we go. We can send our guy to another expedition. Yep, that's right. Oh great, we now have a landowner's king. Well, that's unfortunate because our legitimacy is completely ruined now. Oh yes, let's go now, that's some good news finally. Maximilian, the methodical leader of the industrialists, has been studiously working behind the scenes, and his work is going to allow us to reap the rewards with minus 20% loan interest rate. So we can see the graph now guys. If we go to our interest, check this out, how much of a downslide this was. Our interest dropped to 3,000 when we have 7 million credit. You know what this means. I'm getting 20 construction sectors in Lorenzo Marquez. We're also going to be finally updating all of our production methods. I'm actually going to go for nitroglycerin for our mines briefly, because we're going to switch to dynamite very shortly. So we're going to get some explosive factories going on. We can accuse some in Transvaal. Very productive right now, so let's get 10 of these. And I'm also going to switch to railways transportation. Hey, there we go. Land reclamation is giving us some arable land. That's always nice to have. And we have universal suffrage. Let's go. So what do we got here? Decent legitimacy. That's what I like to see. And we managed to finish an expedition. I cannot believe it, but we're getting a lot of prestige from this one. So here's a little update, guys. Right now we have the 3rd principle in our power block, and we went with colonial offices because at level 3, this is going to be absolutely amazing, and it's going to give us not only colonial growth generation with each level of colonial affairs institution, but also 5% infamy generation reduction against unrecognized powers. So basically we will be able to save a lot of infamy. Now we're building a crap ton of barracks and universities, and that's because we're strengthening our army and we're also aiming to get higher literacy. We're catching up. We already are back to the 17th place. You might be asking why we're currently building a bigger army. Why now? And that's because I've noticed a good opportunity. If we were to declare a war on Peru, Bolivia, let's say we want to just go for humiliation, Belgium actually would be going to defend them. So essentially this is just a bait war. We don't even aim to take Peru, Bolivia. We aim to get Belgium in and just full annex them like this without the intervention of the great powers. Especially since Belgium is now in the British Empire. That's right, they somehow previously joined Britain's power block. I didn't even notice this. But the good thing is that they are a great power. They cannot be subjugated, so there's no risk of us losing them. Actually, it's pretty insane how they have 40 million GDP. They nearly are catching up to us with only 2 states. It's just, Belgium is just insanely cracked in this update. Okay, more about the laws. So we're getting restricted child labor, and this is possible because we now have the trade unions in the government. We did get the enlightened royalists in the government, so we're just waiting until we finish the human rights technology, and then we can go for multiculturalism, which should be just in time after we finish what we're doing right now. And then also with this technology, we will have access to compulsory primary school, which is going to give us even a more max education. We have so many institutions right now, it's crazy. We could actually go for level 2 social security, to be honest. Yeah, let's upgrade this right now. There we go, we're done with this, so we can queue up some new technology. Let's finish steel railway cars as it's nearly done. And right afterwards, I will be pushing for mutual funds into investment rights because we have everything on a tier 2 done here. So it doesn't cost us additional innovation to get this, and we will get it pretty shortly. Okay, so United States wants a defensive pact. I wouldn't be against it. I just once again don't want the investment rights. Maybe we can find a compromise. Like, this is so weird, guys. We have 11 acceptance now. I was trying to add a little steel transfer, which would be plus 20, right? And it resets to 1. I don't get this, not gonna lie. But I suppose we can still get this nice little treaty if we give them an obligation. So actually, let's just go for it. Now we are totally safe from any kind of threats. Okay, we will need to upgrade our general because we need more command limit. Alright, restricted child labor, it's here. Now, what kind of percentage do we have for multiculturalism? So we have only 3% success chance, but hey, it doesn't really upset anybody. I'm also pretty much ready to go for Belgium. Hopefully they will actually join this play. So let's see what we got. Come on, Belgium, join this war. Spain sides with Peru. Now it's your turn. Okay, there we go, guys. We actually have them. Oh, this is so fantastic. This is so good, guys, because right now what we can do is do return state Wallonia, return state Flanders. It's only 50 infamy. It's so good, man. And obviously we will be swaying in Great Britain as our ally. I highly recommend you guys deal with Belgium in this way. Just find an opportunity, whoever is going to defend them, and just indirectly take their provinces. There we go, guys. The war has broken out. Let's crush these bastards. Massive battle here in Flanders. We have British Raj sending an army. We're fighting the Spaniards over here. British Raj was actually defeated. They're useless, man. But we got this in the bag anyways because we just have a massive quantity advantage. There we go. At least we're winning some of our own battles. Boom. Brazil get owned. Oh no, Belgium has begun embargoing the Netherlands. Whatever will we do now? It's not like we're going to full annex them in a few moments. We already have Wallonia occupied. We're about to take over Flanders. And then we just have Brazil and Spain to deal with, and we're crushing Spain currently. Armenian mass immigration is already happening from the Ottoman Empire to Holland. Well, this is just the beginning, guys. We're getting multiculturalism. We will have a ton of immigrations. There we go. Brazil is already out of this war. We didn't even need to do crap about it. And Belgium is no more, guys. We have it all. Ah, yes, this is absolutely glorious. Okay, now what we need to do, guys, is just go to the General Nation Formation and we can form the United Netherlands, a glorious union. And we immediately integrated our 2 personal unions of Luxembourg and Limburg. Let's just make sure that we have our main production methods in our new states. And obviously, let's pay thousands of bureaucracy points to incorporate Wallonia and Flanders. What were they even doing in Flanders? Like, they have minus 200 infrastructure. What the hell, bro? We will need to build a crap ton of railways up in there. Yep, there we go. The war is done, guys. And look at our GDP. It just went up so much. It's 77 million. Yo, that's crazy. So we're gonna need to fill up our construction queue now. We have some shortages of food. Yeah, it's primarily food shortages right now. And looks like we need some new rivals. So I'm just going to rival France, Italy, and Russia now. I don't really care about them. We got a nice alliance set up after all. We already have the third best power block after eliminating Belgium, or rather eating up all of Belgium. So about our construction queue, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to allow AI to decide which type of buildings are going to be best for us, and we will enable on most of our stuff automatic expansion. Is this totally efficient? No, not really, because it will happen that in some states where we have construction efficiency issues, the AI will still build buildings there. So it's not always going to be the best way to play, but it's going to save us just a lot of time. We have investment banks, so we have our third company available. So I really want to go with another prestige good, and high-grade explosives seems pretty good because it's used in a ton of buildings. Is going to increase the throughput of our mines because we use explosives for them. So this is a really nice company to establish. So because we already have our third company, it's going to be a little while until we can establish another one, which is definitely going to be the construction one. We can probably go for the fourth principle already. I'm gonna go with the company's principle, so immediately we can get this sweet 10% company throughput bonus. No way, is this real? We're actually going to complete an expedition? I thought this was impossible. And there we go, we actually completed it. Okay, nice. So we get a bunch more prestige for 5 years. We also have steel frame buildings now available, so we can make the switch. However, this is going to cost us an insane amount of glass, insane amount of steel, so it's best that we set this up first. We can start building in Wallonia, and I'm gonna do the same with the glassworks. This is going to be the first state where we will switch. United Netherlands has become renowned around the world as a place that welcomes immigrants without discriminating, and until the end of the game we get 25% migration attraction. That's right, boys, that's the power of multiculturalism. Dude, what are we even paying so much for? 300,000 on iron, this is just wild. And we also have a bunch of space for iron mines in Wallonia, so we might as well just max out here. We can go ahead and max out in Transvaal. Hey, there we go, we just got Max Colonial Affairs Institution from Civilizing Mission, so that's another upgrade that we're gonna do. I'm gonna be queuing up a lot more of the production tab researches too. Let's finish everything on this row. I actually have one free corporate charter, I kind of forgot about this. We can give an additional industry, but do we not go for... We don't want to actually go for steel mills because we will cover this with the construction company. So sulfur mines is definitely the answer here. Boom, there we go. As we're building some steel mills and we finish building the glassworks, I'm fine to actually go ahead and switch our construction sectors in Wallonia. So that's almost 1,000 construction already. And we have 100 million GDP. It's only 1875. Okay, so we have a few more expeditions up. We can actually launch a Tibetan expedition. Alright, let's go, boys. Holy crap, there's world wars going on over Siam. Great Britain is like, I'm gonna conquer this. France is like, nope, you're gonna give me Sierra Leone. Well, I don't want no part of this. I'm gonna continue building steel mills and glassworks in the states where we will be switching our production to steel frame buildings. So in Transvaal we're currently building, and just going to switch it state by state so that we don't have just like massive shortages of steel and glass once we do like one go switch. Wow, this is actually cool. Through this Tibetan expedition we can get better stats for our general. He's gonna have minus 10% morale loss. That's interesting. Our enlightened royalist will change ideology to jingoist. I actually don't really mind that because we have used them up for whatever we needed. We just needed multiculturalism here. And we also have compulsory primary school, so it doesn't really matter. Just give us more progress, right? Oh snap, boys, we actually have a good chance to pass corporate state. Why is this so good? Well, because it actually gives you an additional company now since 1.9, and you also get a free company charter. So let's try and get this instead of a monarchy. Boom, there we go. Let's switch our construction sectors to steel frame buildings in Transvaal. And we're up to 1k construction, so we're looking good. We just lost our alliance with Great Britain because the time simply ran out and they withdrew. But the good thing is that we can easily get it back. And we can also get military assistance, so that's awesome. We can grab mutual trade privileges, give them a mill access, and they are more than happy to establish this for another 25 years, so we just keep our amazing ally. They love us. Expedition to Tibet is completed, Tibet becomes a Dutch protectorate. This is amazing. We just stole Tibet from Qing just like that. Alrighty boys, welcome. Nice little nearly 2 million GDP for us. What I really don't like about our current situation is our literacy is definitely not as good as it could be. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is build an additional 50 universities in all of our Dutch states. So this is surely going to make a little difference. I'm just gonna immediately afterwards queue up a good chunk of paper mills because this is definitely also going to be needed. And we finally, guys, have a new mandate, so we can go for level 3 construction and we can establish the construction conglomerate, which is over here. Boom. Let's give it additional industry lead mines. We can go for investment rights as well. Thankfully, he's got decent popularity, so it's gonna be very quick for us to get this amazing construction bonus. And we also need to fix our authority right now because this is looking tragic. We can cancel this tobacco consumption tax, like 10,000 revenue is nothing for us currently. And I guess we can get rid of one of the road maintenance decrees because we're not really building in Restart right now. Okay, there we go. Let's research electricity. Maybe we can go with another company with corporate governance afterwards. Actually, we first might want to finish feminism, but this is being finished by tech spread, so we probably will have that done anyways. Let's see, if we reform our government, guys, so we are able to go for graduated taxation, which is immediate 70,000 revenue change, so that's nice. Guys, so we have a little bit of a problem currently. If we check our states, we have no pops available. We have 15 peasants in Wallonia, we have 7,000 here in Flanders, we don't have any in Holland, Gelre, just no peasants. I think what we will do is cancel our decrease. We will also cancel our consumption tax on services, even though this gives us quite a little bit of money. And we're going to temporarily raise our wages. Now we have 400 authority, so we can get some greener grass campaigns going on. This will help us with more migration. And also we're about to get corporate governance. So this is going to give us access to another company, and then we can establish a company that's going to increase our birth rate. Now, another thing we can do is finally get some power plants. So we're going to build this in all of our states. We're going to get at least one power plant. We're finally gonna have electricity, boys. And guys, a lot of our states are still growing colonies, like they're not yet incorporated. So what I like to do is go to our building list and we're just going to filter this out. Every red building we're basically just clicking off, as it's not efficient for us to build there right now. So essentially we will build in these states a bit later. Right now we don't need to rush this. And there we go. There's still going to be quite a few power plants for us. Now let's see, if we click on railways, we can also check what kind of infrastructure we have. And for example, in Zululand it's terrible, -50, so we're going to prioritize building there. With each building we get 25, so we can get 2 railways up in there. We can get 1 in Lorenzo Marquez and just fix our infrastructure in the states where it needs fixing. Now let's see our shortages. So we still have moderate shortages for glass, steel, coal. We can definitely work on that. I'm gonna get some steel mills up in Flanders. We can get like 30. We can get some glass works as well. And let's see where's the best place for us to build coal mines right now. Transvaal is still the best place. We can have still a ton of coal mines, so I'm going to queue up a nice amount. We can grab like another 40 of them. And boom, we have graduated taxation, so this is going to help us a little bit. We can go for old age pension now, which is going to give a lot of dependents income. And I've learned that this is money that you don't actually lose. They just receive more income. Where they get this money from, I have no idea. But it's supposed to make your standard of living go up by quite a bit. Hey, there we go. We have malaria prevention now, so we can grab the last level of colonial affairs. We just need to get a little bit more bureaucracy. So we're going to go for government administration buildings, and we actually need some more taxation capacity anyways. Holy crap, Flanders, you might need a few more railways. Hey, we also have a new mandate, so we can continue working on colonial offices. Let's establish electric sawmills. We can also make sure that we have all the newest production methods established. We need new ones for rubber plantations as well. We can establish another company, and as I said, we're going to go with the birth rate one. So there it is, Holland Food Syndicate. Let's establish this. We're gonna cancel one of our decrees. We need a little bit more authority. Let's briefly cancel the one in Holland as well, because what I want to do is grab another industry for this one. We will go with livestock ranches, and we will later boost up the livestock ranches through another company. So with this one, we will have 5% birth rate once we have max prosperity. We also will have the gourmet groceries prestige good, which is going to be consumed by pops of wealth level between 20 and 99, and we already have 20 standard of living, so a lot of pops will be consuming this. Now actually we can focus a little bit more on production when it comes to our research. I definitely want to unlock electrics industries because they are super profitable, and then we can go for a little bit more construction with pneumatic tools. We get 10% construction sector building throughput. Then we can also go for plastics and electric arc process, which is going to give new production methods for steel mills and glassworks, which is needed for our construction sector, so basically we support them. Now because we have multilateral alliances, we get 25% infamy generation reduction, and of course we're soon going to combine this with a level 3 colonial offices. Is gonna be just amazing, guys. So let's go ahead and build our skyscraper now in Holland. It's gonna give us 25% bonus for government administration building throughput, so that's gonna be quite a bit of bureaucracy. I actually never really paid attention if the skyscraper gets like displayed as a building actually, because as you can see we definitely have different looking cities than what we had at the beginning. That's a lot of buildings, and fun thing is if we build power block statues they will get placed like in the middle, so I will be able to show this later to you guys. Actually we can just go ahead and start queuing up power block statues in all of our main states now. And this will give us some prestige, infrastructure per 100,000 population, loyalists from political movements even. We now have old age pension, so we have access to more social security too. Let's see what else now we can get. We're gonna stick with legal guardianship for more birth rates, so we're not switching the rights of women laws yet. I actually think we have like the best possible laws right now. There's not much that we can switch. Like we're not gonna go for co-op ownership because this would reduce the loan interest rate, or rather remove it, and we would have less free company charters. One thing we could switch, guys, is our distribution of power law. If we went back down to being an autocracy, we would actually form a Burgundy. I was considering to do this for this video, but honestly it kind of makes more sense for us to stay with universal suffrage. Like our legitimacy would be cooked with this, so it's probably just, you know, just for role play if you want to become Burgundy. Okay, let's go with some more power plants now. As long as they are productive, we're gonna continue building them. There we go, that's gonna be enough. At this point we also can have 25 construction sectors in each of our states, so I'm gonna upgrade them. We had only 20 in each of one of our Netherlands states, so we're just going to max out. Actually, if we check our construction sectors window, we can probably get some enchants for Lorenzo Marquez, restart in these states where we have a lot of buildings, where we still build a lot. Very good. So we have captured light and shadow. The interest in photographic arts throughout United Netherlands has spawned many new artistic movements. We can get 20% tech spread for society, migration attraction, or 6,000 progress towards film. And we have a big issue with pops, so we're gonna go with the migration attraction. Now we're getting nearly 700,000 yearly. Boom, there we go. We have constructed our skyscraper, so we're getting 75 additional prestige. I don't think it actually gets displayed, or at least I don't see where the hell is it. Like this in the middle is our power block statue that is being constructed. Where is the skyscraper? And speaking of the power block statue, this is what it looks like. It has the same design that we did on our power block. Oh damn, Valonian pops have become obsessed with fine art. Maybe we should later switch out one of our companies to actually get one that has a fine art prestige good. And there we go, we have level 3 colonial offices, so now we will be able to work on our company's principles so that we can establish another company. I believe we can still get one more through technology if I'm not wrong. Yeah, with macroeconomics we can get another company, so we can get 2 more. Let's queue up Zeppelin after we finish this production. We can queue up elevators, and I really want to finish everything on tier 4 here so that we can actually go for macroeconomics. This guy has an underscore in his name. Muhammad, you wild for this one. But just to show you guys how much infamy we now get with our conquest, we're going to declare a war on a binding of Isaac over here. And next country, we get 1.8 infamy for this, so we can just go ham. As long as we don't have like great powers joining these wars, we're just going to get as much land as possible in Africa. I also want to build a few more ships so that we can do full naval invasions with our main army, which has 100 battalions. We're at 300 million GDP now. It's only 1890. I believe this was the amount of GDP that I had with Belgium around 1900s, so we're way early with this. Guys, we can start trying to get some investment rights in other countries. To get it in Germany, minus 58 acceptance. I'm gonna give it in return, that's plus 12. And maybe we can give them like some goods or some money or something. Ammunition, for example, we could give them a little bit of this. For some reason, it actually decreases the acceptance, so I guess we can try and do money. Nah, it's not gonna work like that, but we can give them an obligation. Let's go for 5 years. Alright, so in these 5 years, I don't really think they will invest that much in our country, while we will just spam a crap ton of buildings in theirs. They have 30,000 peasants over here in Hanover. Maybe we can select a better state for this. 400,000 in Posen. We cannot build iron mines for them because it's monopolized by Friedrich Group company, but we can get some logging camps. We can get some livestock ranches for them. Actually, electric industries investments for them is insanely profitable right now. There we go, guys. We entered the 20th century. We have over 500 million GDP. We have 24 standard of living, so we're the first in the world comfortably. We're nearing 100 million population. In the ledger, we can see that we are the second greatest power because Great Britain has just an insane amount of prestige. But if we sort by GDP, we're clearly the first one. Okay, let's see if we sort by population. Qing has 400 million. British Raj has 160. We're in the 5th place with 85. And now actually, let's see the global stats of the companies. We did manage to get the most profitable company with United Construction Conglomerate. We have one in the 3rd place with our Metalworks company. Then we have our Food Syndicate, Munition Company, and whatever else we have here. With macroeconomics, we would be able to establish yet another company, and I would definitely go for some kind of a prestige good again. You know, actually probably Armament Syndicate would be the one that I would go for, so that we could have the prestige small arms. And we don't have arms industries or artilleries, I believe, with our other companies, and we would be able to add in automotive industries as the 3rd industry for this company. And yeah, guys, that's going to be it for our Dutch campaign today. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to click the like button, subscribe, let me know in the comments what other countries you would like to see in Victoria Free, and I will see you next time. A big thanks to all the YouTube channel members. You guys are all amazing.